What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Fishing Grubs. Today's episode is very cool, very special, and also sponsored by Mystery Tackle Box, where you can get a mystery subscription tackle box sent to your mailbox once a month. We're going to get into that in just a second, but guys, I'm here to tell you that I have built a koi pond bar in my apartment from scratch. Today we're going to go over how and why I built this koi pond bar in our living room. So I'm super excited to finally present this thing to you guys. The bar came out way beyond what I expected. Still have some final touches to do, little things I want to do, but I feel like it's at a point where I can show you guys. And I have some videos in my phone of kind of the progression of this thing, so I'm going to check and see if I can put some of these up here. And we'll talk to you a little bit about how and why we did what we did to get to this point here. So, before we get into the pond and showing you guys exactly what we've done with the koi pond bar, let's crack this baby open. This is the mystery tackle box, subscription box for the month of June. And guys, if you are interested in this subscription tackle box at all, head on over to mysterytacklebox.com. It'll be linked in the description below, and use the code GRUBS to save $10 off your first box, as long as it is your first subscription with these guys. So mystery tackle box is the shiz nitty, and if you are into targeting freshwater bass, this is the way to go. You'll be able to get some multiple species on these lures as well usually, but let's go ahead and crack this a little bit and see what we got in here. So, first off, what I'm seeing is one of my favorite hooks to use for anything Texas rigged. These are the 4.0 Trocars. Trocar is a fantastic brand of hook. It is basically the high-end version of Eagle Claw, which I trust a lot more than just the straight Eagle Claw. We have ourselves an awesome little black and blue jig, and I know for a fact that Mr. John B himself can never not throw a black and blue jig. Lucky Craft crank. Lucky Craft, guys, this is a fairly expensive lure. I haven't seen the little thing yet, but I know Lucky Craft. These lures can go up to like $20, so this is probably a very high-end crankbait to go into this box. So I should be stoked about that. This spook looks incredible. The TS-115 from ARC. We could totally go out, change the hooks out on this thing, and catch some beastly stripers. Guaranteed. Color is sick. Pattern, awesome. I dig it. And we'll toss that sucker for largies, of course, as well. But that is mucho sex. Holy crap, this is gorgeous. These micro finesse Eurotag. I love Eurotackle's micro finesse for ice fishing. These are little craws that'll fit perfectly on that little black and blue jig that came in the box. Then we have the Headbanger Banger Lizard. And you can't really see into the package. It's flavored with salt. We'll see about that. It also came with the Headbanger head. Toss this lizard. We get the rocker head for Headbanger lures. And this is gonna go this here. Headbanger lizard. That looks pretty freaking awesome. We gotta check out the action on this. And so this is gonna be like cast, retrieve, pop, rip type of stuff. Headbanger, banging heads, folks. The action on these things are wild. I've seen a bunch of underwater footage on them. Never actually tossed one myself, so I'm excited to get this thing in the water. Before we get into the pond stuff, I really want to quickly show you this insane lure that just came out by Bull Shad. This is the Bull Mullet. Absolute fish slaying machine. At least it looks like it. I have yet to get it out on the water, but I plan to do so as soon as humanly possible. This jointed swim bait with the traditional Mike Bucca brush tail. I love these tails because they're so collapsible, you know. They don't get in the way ever of the hooks. And the shine on this thing is crazy. Mike Bucca, you vibed on yourself. Now I might upgrade the hooks, and we're going to take this thing out and test it as is, but I'm pretty sure we're going to need to upgrade these for the size stripers that are around. But this is an inshore lure, and I believe it's Bucca's first attempt at doing a inshore lure that is going to be produced on a bigger scale. May have done some others before. Let's take a quick look at the mackerel color. It's beautiful. So if you're up on the Cape, you need this. Unfreaking believable. Now, if you are up on the Cape fishing for big stripers, please, for goodness sake, change these hooks out. They're just, you may be the same size, stay with the same size, just get the 4X. Or kick it up one size, get the 4X. You need stronger hooks. These hooks are just a little bit light for the size striper that we have around right now. Now, schoolies, these will work all day, but these bigger caliber bass that are going to absolutely engulf this thing, you want just a little bit stronger hooks on here. I've had numerous issues lately with hooks and split rings and such like that. Now, something that's really cool about these lures is that they all have swivels on the inside, so these fish are not going to be able to get leverage on this thing. Superb. So guys, make sure if you want to sign up for Mystery Tackle Box, you go on over there, use the code GRUBS, save yourself some money, and enjoy, because they got some cool stuff. Also, Carl's Bait and Tackle, also linked in the description. You can save money there with the code GRUBS10. Don't forget. So all of you fish keeping lovers out there and you fishermen out there, this pond is the reason why I did this whole pond in the first place, this crazy koi pond part. It's because when I caught the first koi of my life, it really sparked something in me. I've been trying so hard to get another one. I've come very, very close to catching a couple more koi. None of them have bit, but they are really enjoying my chow that I've cooked up for them quite a few times and given to them in their water sources. Anyways, we haven't had any luck, and I've just been, thinking about these fish constantly. And because of this, I've been wanting to, keep some koi in the apartment, raise them to a certain size before either giving them to a friend to put in their pond or maybe even selling. The koi we originally picked out was just this beautiful golden mirror koi, and we named him Pythagoras. And within days, he was being just like super personable and really taking a liking to us. And then after a couple days, I decided to get another one, which we then named Elliot. And these two fish were just super cool, but keeping them in that tank right there behind us, I knew that wasn't going to be sufficient in the future. I knew that they were going to outgrow this tank within 0 time whatsoever. And now that tank is a really nice tank with a great filter, and it's been cycled. So to get the cycle going fast, when we started this pond, I used a bunch of the water from the pond that they were in to just really get this pond going at a quicker rate. And if you're starting a pond from scratch, you always have to remember you gotta let your water cycle. Some fish are hardier than others. Koi, carp, definitely a little hardier, so I didn't wait as long after like filling this pond as I probably would have if it was other fish, but I still did wait a few days. Even though I used a bunch of already cycled water, there was still a bunch of new water added into this thing. And right away we just like started expanding. So basically the first thing we did was a bunch of research on cheap ways to build ponds, and what I came up with was getting something that would be able to get up the stairs, be up here on the third floor, and be out of the way, and be able to be like supported by the floor basically. So I wanted to be able to get this thing up the stairs, and just be able to kind of make this thing work. And all the research I'm doing saying that the koi should be at least in 100 gallons, but a 100-gallon drum getting all the way up here is just not possible. Also, that's for a full-grown koi, and we're not looking to get these guys to their full-grown length before we are either selling them or giving them to our friends ponds and stuff like that. So basically these baby koi are very, very inexpensive, so I'll be getting different batches. As soon as these ones grow out of the pond, I'll donate them or sell them, and then get a new batch, because they're like $5 to $10 each, so why not? And then you raise them until they're worth $100 or more. Anyways, I digress. I knew immediately that what I had going wasn't going to support these fish in the long run, so I wanted to do a few things. Now right away I got this really cool filter that I ran into somebody at the aquarium shop, and they told me all about this style of filter that I knew absolutely nothing about. So this is a sponge filter, and the sponge filter works way different than most filters. In fact, most people don't want you to know that these things even exist, so they're not really promoted too well, because they're way cheaper. And all you need is an air pump. If you want to get a little more intricate, you can get a tiny air stone for inside, which I've done, because it makes it a lot less noisy and just makes it work better if you do a little bit of research on these things. So these sponge filters, basically, because of the airflow, it's sucking in, all of the water and then pumping it up. And as it's doing that, it's collecting all the debris and the stuff in the sponge that you can then rinse out in your aquarium water on the side. Make sure you never rinse in chlorinated water. You rinse in dirty water. So, if you're doing a cleaning of your tank, just, rinse this filter out in your dirty water after you drain it. But these things work like a charm, and I don't know if I even had to do a bigger filter, but because I did a bigger filter in the long run, I was able to add more fish and not worry about it. So we have this beautiful 50-gallon drum that we got. This thing's made for horse troughs, so I know it's not going to break, it's not going to spill. We're not going to have any issues down below us, because that, you don't want to use something that isn't made for water or made for like heavy duty stuff. So both the filter itself and the pond itself are made from super heavy duty plastic that can actually handle a good amount of water and is fish safe. That's key. So we took this Rubbermaid, we built this beautiful 20-gallon filter to go with, and I'm going to do a full video on how I built the filter and what I used to build the filter, but all you need to know is the amount of surface area in this filter is insane. And the amount of filtration that's going on and the amount of bacteria growth that can be had on all of the volcanic rock in here, it's insane. This is way overkill for a tank of this size, and so it gave us the ability to raise a few more fish than we would have if we didn't have a filter of this caliber. I'm also contemplating adding some more aquaponics to this. Now, you can see in the top of the filter we have not only this beautiful bonsai tree, we have some bamboo, and we also have some pathos vines. Then I used some stepping stones to create like a beautiful shelf to put some more plants on. We have this beautiful crystal that I have being lit up at night as like a little night light, and it's on a timer. All the lights that we have are on timers. I have grow lights that only come on for a couple hours during the day because there is a tiny bit of sunlight that gets in here as well for the plants, and all of those grow lights are not pointed at the water. They are pointed at the plants themselves, because I don't really need the algae growth, and fish really don't need UV light. It's completely unnecessary. Look at all the places with super dirty water, barely any light gets down to the bottom, and all these fish thrive. Fish thrive at the bottom of the ocean where there's zero light. So the fish don't necessarily need any UV light, but we do provide them with some, just not enough to get a ton of algae growth in the pond. The way we designed the pond was to create kind of a nice cycle of water with the outflow of the filter pouring in the same direction as the pump is pointing. So it creates, it pushes all the debris and all the water back around to the pump and then up to the filter. Creates a good amount of surface agitation, and I do want to add a little bit more. I'm thinking about getting one of those little underwater fan deals just to continue the cycle at just this one spot here where I feel like it could have just a little more movement. So we have 6 koi in the pond. The queen bee of the pond, who we fittingly named Little Kim, basically rules the joint. She is a beautiful orange and white mirror koi. Absolutely stunning fish. We also have 2 other mirrors, Pythagoras, who is this beautiful golden koi, and Jamira koi, who is the smallest of them all. He's the runt of the tank, and I cannot wait to see this fish grow up. In fact, all of these fish have gotten so much bigger since we got them, except for Jamira koi. He's slacking, but not by a lot. He's just, you can tell he's a few months behind the others. We then have Snowflake, which is almost all white with some black spots and some orange hue within the fish as well. We have Elliot, who was our second fish that we got after Pythagoras. Elliot's our calico-looking koi. And last but not least, we have a really cool white koi with black spots named Snowflake, after the dolphin from Ace Ventura: Pet Detective. The newest addition to the family, a butterfly koi that is black and white, and we have not named him or her yet. So if you have any suggestions, I'd love to hear them. These fish are just super cool to watch. They are all, you can already tell they're all developing kind of their own little personalities, and they're just, they're a blast, and I can't wait to see them grow and then be able to move them to bigger and better spots. It's actually, like, thinking about it, it's going to be really sad, but I think it's really cool. And taking them out of their little spots. I've gotten all of these fish at, like, big pet stores, like, the Petco's and stuff like that. So to me, it's like, I just love getting these fish out of those tanks and putting them in something that they might enjoy a little bit more. So after the tank was built, I was thinking about what I wanted to do to create a little spot to sit and observe the tank. It's just in this little nook with no chairs and no nothing. So I just was going over a bunch of things in my head, and a couple things came to mind. I was thinking about like a little park bench, but in the end, the bar top really spoke to me, because both Tay and I were bartenders, and we both don't bartend anymore, and I thought it would be really cool to have a little bar top in our living room, and it was the perfect size for like a little bar top for the 2 of us. I went to Home Depot, I grabbed some wood, I went to Scott's house to kind of like cut the wood down, and then I was gonna, put it together and stain it and get it up here. I got to Scott's house with the wood and found out that I bought pressure-treated wood, because I'm an idiot and not a construction guy at all. Just not a DIY guy. I'm good. I have visions, and I can see what I want to do in my head, and I'm always open to, suggestions and things from friends and stuff like that. So, like, We sat there after they laughed at me for quite a bit, and Scott's roommate and my good buddy Davey was like, oh, I have this insane thing, and goes and grabs this beautiful piece of wood with live edge, and it just looks like the perfect bar top. Now it's old and hasn't been touched in forever, so you're looking at the wood and it's like almost like stained, like dark, just sitting out for so long, not having anyone touch it. We sanded it down a little bit. It still has the old saw marks in it. It's freaking this just beautiful piece of millwood that was just like a scrap with these gorgeous live edges, and it's freaking perfect. I measure it and I'm just like, dude, this is a touch shorter than what I wanted, but absolutely perfect for two people. So we take it, we sand it a little, and we start planning. Like, how are we going to make the legs? And so we're brainstorming, and we decide that it'd be cool to cut down a tree and just straight up use the tree trunks with the live edge as the legs. So the next day I go to Scotty's and we chop down a tree, and this tree's dead, of course. You don't want to chop down a live tree if you don't have to. So we chop down this dead tree, and half of the bark just wants to fall off. So I'm like, damn it, let's get it all off. So we start getting all the bark off, and the other half of the bark doesn't want to come off. I'm like, you know what, just leave it. We'll keep it half live and half open. So we did, and that's why the legs are what they are. They also haven't been stained yet, and I haven't fully polyed this thing, which the whole thing is going to get polyed, the live edge and everything else. So we're going to give it about a month, and then we are going to sand down the unbarked spots and stain them the same color as the top of this thing. We also then got some bar stools that are completely the wrong color. So I'm going to strip these things down completely and then refinish them again the same color as the top of this bar. So we do have quite a bit of work left to do on the bar, but I want to know what you guys think. I mean, I'm super stoked about this thing. I really couldn't be happier. So there are some things I do want to hide, like the outlet here, the wires going in and out. I want to get some like fake vegetation to possibly somewhat hide the sponge filter. There's just there's little things here and there that we still got to do. In front of the table, I want to collect some more stones. We collected a bunch of the stones from different bodies of water in the area to add some of the decor to this thing. Different places that we know have koi and carp, just because I thought it would be cool to like add some natural elements from the places that inspired this whole thing to begin with. So we're now, we've been kind of a small fish keeper always. We had cichlids a while back. If you guys don't remember, they were freaking incredible, and a buddy of ours still has them to this day. But this is like on a whole nother level. This is, I've never had a tank like this. I've never built my own filter. We put a cage around this whole thing so that Duke wouldn't just go drinking from the water because he is a freaking stupid dog. Let me know what you guys think. What can we do to improve this? Is this something that I can continue to do? Is this something that like other people would want me to come to their house and build for them? That's like something that's been going on in my mind because I had so much fun thinking and putting this whole thing together. It's like another path that could possibly open up for us. Fishing and fish keeping, always a blast. They go together hand in hand. Most of us fishermen really appreciate the fish, and we love them so much that we want to be surrounded by them all the time. And hence why we have a gosh darn pond that we built ourselves in our living room. So guys, if you want to see updates on the pond, if you want to watch these fish grow, if you want to be a part of this whole experience that I have no idea where it's going, like this whole YouTube thing, I honestly, like, I started it never thinking it would become like much of anything, and now it's like becoming something and going in so many different directions, from we don't even bass fish anymore. This whole channel started because of bass fishing, and all we do now is spend time on the saltwater and fish for carp. It's a crazy journey, and I have no idea where it's going, and I love that. And I'm open to all roads, and this crazy thing. It's just something I'm super proud of and wanted to share with you guys. So come along for the journey, and please let me know in the comments below if this is something that you want to continuously see updates on, if you want to see the fish chowing down, you know, once a week, just because when I'm sitting here in the office, I can obviously do a 2-minute update on this thing before any video. So if it's something you guys want to keep up with, please let me know. I'm very interested in your feedback. I love you all. And don't forget, with this massive giveaway we have coming with this rod and reel, maybe we can even do something for the fish keeping guys out there and give away like a cool filter or something like that. We'll think about it. The 10K is coming, folks, and if you help us get there, we will be super thankful. So share this with your friends. Get people on board. We are only 900 subscribers away from 10K. I honestly, with the years that we've put in to just having fun with this thing, it's insane that we've come this far. So, love you all. Thank you. Catch you on the next one. Fish out.
Work hard, get dough. I can't get no sleep, please make my life more simple. Miles inside these shoes so I don't stomp, I tiptoe. Fell 1,000 times and still I roll no limp though. But I wouldn't trade a thing